Welcome to The Complete Teacher, 101 meaningful, bite-sized professional development lessons, each coming with thought-provoking titles, relevant, inspiring quotes, helpful text with anecdotes, data, and wisdom, and action steps. Lesson 45. Everything is Beowulf, you know. Jimmy Neal Smith says, "We are all storytellers. We all live in a network of stories. There isn't a stronger connection between people than storytelling." Kids are hardwired for stories, a truth of which I took full advantage in the classroom. For instance, I often facilitated a compare-contrast between familiar Disney stories and the history we studied. The Lion King borrows from the Epic of Sundiata, for example. Aladdin incorporates elements of Muhammad's life. Emperor's New Groove is set in the Incan Empire of South America, and so on. There were many other examples as well, but then there was Beowulf. No other story was referenced with such frequency. Beowulf topped the list. When you teach English language arts or related content, you better know about Beowulf. This 10th century Danish epic poem contains most of the archetypal characters and plot elements that have been used in stories since. Only a few other stories can claim that. Homer, Virgil, Ovid, and the writers of Gilgamesh could have a strong case. So why am I bringing this up? Because there are two very different but very important points to make here for the classroom teacher. First, literally use Beowulf in your classroom. I spent a good portion of an ELA summer school class comparing Beowulf to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Tolkien taught on Beowulf at Oxford after all. Check this out. Unferth is Grima Wormtongue. Hrothgar is King Theoden. Beowulf is Frodo. I facilitated as my students discovered the associations, and it was priceless. The extent to which you expose your students to the story will depend on grade level and ability, but all students can relate to stories. They want to discuss and analyze stories as well. Critical thinking is a universal skill in educational standards across states and grade levels. With that in mind, find a way to compare Unferth, Hrothgar, Beowulf, Brecca, or Grendel to characters in other stories that you expose your classes to. Second, don't reinvent the wheel. You can be a highly effective rock star of a teacher without having to come up with a secret formula or a magical set of lessons. There have been many rock star teachers before you and ones that currently work around you, so just figure out what they did and what they're doing that works so well. Since teaching is one of the oldest professions in the world, there's a wealth of knowledge from which to draw. Just as stories across the centuries tend to use the same archetypal characters and plot elements, find some things that work in the classroom and stick with them. Beowulf, baby. Apply it. Action steps. Capitalize on the fact that many have come before you and have done what you do with great success. Don't reinvent the wheel. Also, capitalize on your students' love of stories. With your guidance, allow them to think critically by comparing stories, characters, or other content-specific concepts. Need a copy of all the Complete Teacher lessons on slides? Looking for an e-reader or physical copy of the Complete Teacher? Want to browse thousands of other top-rated, engaging resources? Check out the links below.